Hi everybody,
Good morning
welcome to the Barrel Roll News,
for
March 16th.
the newscast.
Yes, NewsCast.
So
We're obviously not
on set,
normally-
on location. We're on location.
On location again.
I guess is that what the best way to say it?
Yes.
Yeah,
well,
we're always on location.
Yes, because we're partially holding an event.
Oh,
So
yeah, we're
Tony
hosting.
has to help set up after.
I'm hosting. Well,
Yes.
I'm not even helping setting up. I'm just gonna be there.
Yeah, looking pretty.
Yeah, I do have my shinies.
You do. It's formal Friday.
It's fancy Friday.
Yep.
So
See, I go with the Concordia Friday. Also, I had a student.
I had a scarf.
I had a
Concordia-
student shadowing me today, so I figured I should Concordia up.
Concordia for the Cordia.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So.
What have you been playing, Tony?
Mass
Other
Effect.
than
Not Mass Effect 3.
I finished Mass Effect 3.
I suspect I will finish it this weekend. I mean, it's not a. I don't want to say it's a super long game, but it's one of those games that you can just go right into and then.
Well, you can do all the side stuff.
And then, but you get lost in it real easily.
You really do.
So that's one thing good about BioWare games is that they're really good at storytelling. They really get you into the narrative, which is why I'm not saying Mass Effect 3 is bad. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I really hope for the next Mass Effect game they go back to the whole Knights of the Old Republic ways of doing things, where the first screen is you make your character and then that's your character. You can do anything you want. Anything you want. There's no not a linear story. You can be evil. You can be good. Like you remember when Cold War? Those
Yeah.
games? Like I miss those games. Is my takeaway about Mass Effect 3. Is like
I kind of do, but at the same time, making a more linear story can make it that much more epic in scope, I guess.
well, now that they have time.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows where.
Because even the Dragon Age games felt that way too.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like
the first one is a lot like that, where you can kind of do anything you want.
Right, and then all of a sudden they get into these things where they want a better narrative.
Yeah.
So to pull that off, they think they need to like.
They need to still. It gives the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
Where in the same time, like, the ending is there already. There's
Right. Your
different-
character's either
different
just a
paths to
big
get to the
badass, or your character is, the ultimate hero type guy.
All paths lead to the one end.
Yes.
Is what
And
BioWare's games are right now.
And honestly, I can tell you there is a choice at the end that you have to make.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't really surprise me.
There's 3 choices you get to make at the end.
Awesome.
Well, there's 2 choices unless you do something in the game, which I have no idea what it is. But there's a third thing that you can do, which I didn't end up doing.
Well, there's a huge stink over those endings.
I don't know why.
Because I can't imagine it.
I've experienced.
Well, you've experienced one of the 3 endings.
I can go back right away and do the other ones.
Okay, so maybe that's.
Like if I load up my game, I can go. But from what
are they drastically different from each
No.
other? It's just like, for example, now I don't know, like someone dies, that's important, or someone goes dark side or something.
It's not even that. It's literally like, and the one that I would like to see is that third option that not everybody gets, depending on who you save and what you do and all that.
Now
stuff.
now are the endings?
But they all pretty much lead to the same end from what I've read online.
Okay. Now, is any of those endings indicative of what happens in Mass Effect 2 and 1? Like if someone doesn't exist in.
No.
You're like, okay, so it doesn't really require the use of Kaden or Ashley or anything.
No.
Okay.
No, like it's literally your last stand is Shepard. It's just Shepard.
Okay.
And he has to make this final decision on the outcome of the world,
Well.
the universe as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, all 3 choices kind of lead in the same direction. And I think that's why people are kind of pissed.
Well, were they expecting a more open end? Because.
I think they were expecting more of like if you were Renegade the whole time and you chose the Renegade type ending, that the ending would be
Drastically different.
drastically different from if
Well,
you
there's
picked this, except you're
BioWare has gone on record and said that they are listening to fans.
Yes.
They are, whether or not they're going to patch in a new ending or.
I don't think so.
That would be dumb.
In my mind, they want the universe zeroed, I guess, in a way, if they're making another game. Like, not zeroed, but like at least.
You can start fresh again.
Right.
For like a new main character and a new. Whatever.
So they don't have to make a game completely based off of like, okay, this guy picked this ending, this guy picked this. Like, if there was an ending that completely destroyed everything but Earth.
Yeah.
That would be a drastically different game than if this guy saved everybody and flowers started
growing
in space.
It would be very difficult to
program a game. So this way, I think.
Because I know that there was development hell.
Yeah.
For 3 when they were writing the story for that.
Oh yeah, because
they had
so many choices that you have to take into consideration.
Not just 2, but like 1.
Yeah.
for them.
So that's what I mean. So I think by giving all the endings pretty much the same ending, just with a few tweaks, obviously, to the cinematics.
Yeah.
You're essentially making it so that 4 is an easier game to make.
Well, they've also said that the next Mass Effect game will either take place before Mass Effect 1 or during the Mass Effect trilogy. It won't be a future Mass Effect game.
But obviously,
really weird.
Somewhere down the line, you're going to make a future Mass Effect game.
So, well, it depends on how they want to backpedal. Do they want to do something like KOTOR, where they just, went from year 0 with the Old Republic?
I don't know. Because, I don't know, a prequel to me is kind of dumb for Mass Effect.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's not really much to show other than Earth just trying to learn. Like, they can make like a sort of a side game where it's Earth fighting against the Turians.
Yeah, sure.
Because that was a huge thing that got resolved eventually, right?
But it's kind of like, to me, that's a one-shot kind of DLC
that would be a one-shot
game.
They could almost make that into like a comic, and those comics are selling really well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, or make it into one of the novels that aren't selling all that well.
Well, the comics aren't too bad, but.
The novels don't sell well because the writers don't actually know what they're writing about, apparently.
Well, they're not that they don't know what they're writing, but they're writing errors. They're
Big
errors.
errors.
Spell check. Spell check, right?
Well, it's not even spell check. They were describing that was what the big fuss was, because they were discussing
a lot of
Quarians, like Tally's race.
Yeah.
They're like, their armor's like patchwork and blah, 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 and everybody's like, no, they're sealed, like, suits to keep them alive.
It's called.
Because if they breathe real air, they die. Mm-hmm. They're not patchwork suits.
You would think that the people writing Mass Effect would be like, here is our design documents, make sure they follow to a T.
Yeah, obviously not. But,
oh well.
But that's what I mean, but I think
Mass
that's
Effect,
why the ending ends.
And that really lends credence to the whole, like, design your own adventure game again for another Mass Effect game. That's what I really want, because BioWare does those kinds of games really well, and even Old Republic does really well too. Yeah. Because as much of an MMO that is, it's still a single-player game, regardless of
which is odd to me.
Yes, it's a free weekend this weekend for KOTOR.
Yeah, but that means I have to download.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, no.
Not gonna do it.
Too much effort.
Yeah, you gotta patch the game. You gotta watch it and make sure
Yeah.
It's not like a console game anymore. You can just put it in and go.
Boo earn. See, that's why I'm not a huge PC gamer.
EA Origins sucks.
Not everybody believes that, though.
I know. Spoilers. I don't like it though.
So what else have you been? Are you enjoying Mass Effect though?
I love it. I mean, I played a lot of the multiplayer, actually, a lot more than I probably should, because I enjoy the kind of wave-based combat. Although, now we had a conversation about this, and it pretty much it reflected about what I said in the demo. There's no matchmaking. No. They need to somehow fix that, or only go when playing with your friends.
Because that was my biggest thing. Is I'm sitting there because I was looking at my galactic readiness, and of course it sits at 50% unless you
do something.
Do the iPhone game or multiplayer. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to go get my iPod Touch and download this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And I'm like, and I have multiplayer, so I can play multiplayer. So my first game I jump into, well, of course, I'm a level 1 soldier.
Yeah, I think you get a bonus if you... There is a bonus if you can transfer your save or something like that.
Well, and I also have a Battlefield 3 soldier costume.
Oh.
Because I have Battlefield 3.
Right.
So it's literally the Mass Effect armor with that, like, weird orange-red thing that they have on all the Battlefield guys. On the cover of the Battlefield games, it looks like there's an explosion off to the left of a guy, and so that's what it looks like.
Oh, that's neat.
And it gives you, I think, an extra level when you start off. So I picked him.
Okay.
Because he's pretty much a soldier. But then, of course, I get into a game. Well, I joined a thing, and it's like, well, a level 1 soldier has joined a game with a level 20-something this guy, a level 19 this guy, and a level 17 this one. I got booted right away.
It's worse on the PC, because when the first game I tried to join into I was level 1, there's a level 5, level 200. I was like, what? And both of us get kicked. Yeah. I'm like, there's no proper matchmaking. I'm honestly surprised. Or a server list or something like that.
And I mean, I played it, and I kept playing it because I wanted to unlock more stuff. I think that was my biggest draw to the multiplayer.
And that's a huge problem, I think, for especially silver members on silver members on Xbox, where
all of a sudden
you need to go online to get. Because you don't need multiplayer. We have to stress that you don't need to play multiplayer.
You don't need to, but there's an ending that you get where you need to have a certain amount of army members plus galactic readiness.
Oh, is that one of the other endings?
It's the ending to an ending. There's like this extra little 3 seconds. So I'm sitting there going, ugh. Not that it, and it's not like it's not like it's gonna be a huge big deal, but
Have you seen it?
yes, because I got it.
Oh, okay.
Because I was sitting there going, if I have to restart my game, so I have to play more multiplayer to get that one little thing on the ending, I'm going.
Well, I think
to
the
be super
multiplayer. I think the
pissed.
multiplayer crosses over if you have multiple saves. Does it?
I'm not sure.
I think that's the understanding.
Except mine goes down every time I don't play multiplayer.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So like if I can leave it as everything's about 70%
Yeah.
readiness, and I come back the next day and it's down to like 68.
As long as it doesn't go to below 50, then, right?
It will never go below 50.
Okay.
But you need it for that ending to be
X amount.
quite high, higher. At least I think 65%.
Oh, that's fine. That's like another.
Which is easy to do if you have multiplayer,
Yeah.
but not so easy if obviously you don't have multiplayer.
Like, it's not a problem for PC and PS3.
Obviously, or people that have gold. Which I mean, if you own an Xbox, a large portion of people have
Yeah.
Xbox Live Gold.
Uh,
There's a few people like that I know that don't. You don't play much on your Xbox, so it's not really that big
Alan
a deal.
Wake. I've played Alan Wake.
But there's people that play on their Xbox on
Yeah.
a regular basis that just
Don't
don't
have
have
Or
gold.
don't have gold. Yeah.
Because they're like, well, I don't play online, and I don't do this online. And
Yeah.
it's
Like I have Netflix on my PS3 and my
Right.
computer already. Oh, why would I need gold for Netflix here?
right, because you're
Right.
just using it for Netflix, whereas I play online quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why to me, I'm okay with
Mhm.
paying it, but some people, obviously, if you're not going to play online, it's useless to
I've got one game that I can play online, but I think the servers are offline for it now too.
which
DJ Hero.
probably. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Multiplayer's fun though.
Yeah, it's
And I mean,
actually really.
the first match that I actually got into, the guy was like a highest level guy,
Mm.
was awesome because like there were the two in-betweener type dudes, and then there was my little guy like, I can like concussive shot. Boop.
Well, I chose a Vanguard. You chose a Soldier, right?
Yeah.
So, the Vanguard is really good in multiplayer, actually.
And that's the other thing too, is in multiplayer, if you switch classes, you all of a sudden go back down to level 1.
So they totally did the whole Battlefield thing. That's kind of.
But at least Battlefield, you're kind of like you get into a match,
Mhm.
and you're still kind of evenly like you know. You
Yeah,
have
because
you have a gun. and you
it's
have-
all cooperative for Mass Effect 3. There's no versus. There's no.
Except you do bring people down if you go in as a level 1 and everybody else is like level 15. You have one move where they have, 3 plus extra health.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're the guy that they have to like
Watch out.
for.
Well, I mean, as long as you go into the match seeing that, then it's not so bad. Like if you're always just behind them, then.
Which you end up having to like, I just stand behind people and like.
You'll be
like-
getting a lot of assists rather than kills. So
Right.
find that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I actually finished a couple matches too. Not just like killed either. 'Cause
No, I've finished a
yeah.
few now,
Mhm.
which was it's a huge bonus for money and experience and all that
it's
stuff.
it's oddly gratifying too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, especially after you lose like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
You're on wave 10 and you all die, and you're like,
Or like you've just died like 5 times in
Yeah.
that wave, and then you always get someone to like res you.
I'm saving up for more of those more expensive.
I picked
Crates,
up a medium one.
Me too. I picked up one medium one and one.
Well, you
small
get the
one.
free one, the first one for free, right?
Yeah.
So.
So, what else have you been playing? Other than
Nothing. Nothing.
this? Little odds and ends here and there.
Some demos on the Vita. I played some Ninja Shinobu game. I don't know what it is. MotorStorm RC, as usual. And my friend keeps complaining that I keep getting too high of a score. And I'm like, dude, it's easy. And then he texts me last night at like 2 in the morning, like, ha, I beat one of your scores. I'm like, really? I'm kind of busy right now. I'm writing something.
I'm a little busy.
If you really want me to beat that score again,
Just give me. I'll wait till the
give
end of
me
the
a-
weekend yet.
give me a little time. So that's all I've been playing. Anything? Have you been doing anything other than Mass Effect?
Finally beat Mass Effect.
Yes.
So
How long was that game? Do you think? Did you see?
it felt
like-
short, but then you look at your playtime and it's.
It's a time sucker.
Yeah, it's like what RPGs should be.
Yeah.
And then so yesterday, I threw in Nier.
Oh.
Yeah.
But is that's a Square Enix one, right?
Yes.
My friend loved it. I saw
It might be an acquired taste thing.
I think it's one of those. It's like a Demon Soul game where like a small handful of people really love it,
and then the rest of us just make fun of it.
Don't understand it. It's just like, how do you understand a game that's either that incredibly difficult,
It's
or
not hard. Like, and I really dug it. Like, the game starts, and I'm not spoiling anything because it's the first 10 minutes of the game. So, if you're really like that big into, like, you want this to be all fresh and new, cover your ears and go away.
I've seen it already.
But
I probably won't play it.
You start off with you're guarding your daughter in this, frozen wasteland city type place, and it's summer and there's snow, so obviously the world's gone to crap.
Yeah.
And you all of a sudden all these enemies start appearing, and you grab this book, like you touch it, and it gives you powers. After you've told
Doesn't
your
it,
daughter.
like, talk to you all the time, too?
Not yet.
Oh.
So you touch it, and it gives you powers after you've told your daughter not to touch it. And you go through the like waves and waves and waves of enemies. You get to like level 30 in the span of 5 minutes. You fight a boss, you go back, you find out that your daughter's touched the book, and you're like, oh, stuff's gonna get crazy. And then all of a sudden it's like 1,453 years later.
I applaud that kind of narrative because it's just like out of left field.
And then you're the same character with your daughter, but now you're in this like hillside country in a little house, and you're like, what's going on?
I feel like something like that is more interesting as like a narrative perspective, just because it's better than just point A to point B, where it's like this is point A to point like double A.
And narratively, I'm sitting there going, okay, this is interesting, like I really want to find out what happens, and then you get into the world, and the graphics really aren't all that pretty. Which, I mean, for a Square Enix game, you kind of sit there going, guys, come on, you're really starting, like if you guys don't have graphics and you don't have, your own storytelling abilities, then you're pretty much, you've got nothing anymore.
Yeah, everyone copies you, so.
Yeah, so I'm kind of sitting there going, well, so yeah, the geographic kind of stuff is odd to me, like it doesn't look pretty.
How
the character design doesn't, some of it's okay, the controls are a little wonky, like I think it's going to be one of these games where if I ever get used to it, I might really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you play it long enough,
so
you understand it.
That or it'll end up at the bottom of a barrel somewhere, so.
It is technically at the bottom.
So
of a lot of barrels, but like Demon Souls, it's gonna get passed over. I think Demon Souls it would be a neat game, but it's more of a grind than anything.
Apparently it's one of those ones where if you really want to challenge, you just kind of keep.
Are you a masochist?
Yeah.
Go play Dark Souls and Demon Souls.
Yep. But yeah, so I threw that in last night and I got frustrated with it, so I watched the first Halloween episode of Buffy instead.
Well, like, does TV shows count?
I don't know.
Because I watched a lot of X-Files. Within the past, like, 48 hours, I've watched 12 episodes.
Obviously nothing else to do, Toady?
I've been writing. I spent a lot of my time at school writing.
Oh, well, that's good.
And then I go home, and then I finish eating, whatever dinner it is, and then it's like, X-Files. So, X-Files is an addictive show. It's an incredibly addictive show.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that I have to start watching.
When you start an episode, it's damn near impossible to stop watching because there's just like twist after twist after twist. That's something else though. So that's we haven't been playing a lot of games. Sorry.
Well, and I mean Mass Effect kind of really takes up a lot of time.
It's surprising how much time it takes up because you think you're gonna play for like 2 hours and then something else pops up in the game. You want to wrap that up, or you want to go to this part of the game and then you want to wrap that up, and then 2 hours becomes 4, and then you want to try multiplayer for a little bit more.
Yeah. Like it kind of just keeps sucking you back, and then I mean really now.
And they just announced more DLC too, or rumored DLC. The Duster, 2 Duster, after I don't know.
Now that the game's over, I really don't care about DLC.
Well, it depends on what kind of DLC it is.
Because I really feel like my Shepard story is.
Well, that's what they're claiming, right? So, like when Mass Effect 3 came up, like this is the last Shepard story.
Right, and that's how cool. I really feel. So I think that adding like DLC is kind of gonna be like.
Well, it could be like
we've told this epic story, and then all of a sudden it's like, Oh, but this also happened to Shepard. I forgot to mention.
Well, you don't have to play as Shepard. You could be like, this is Liara as, spoilers, the Shadow Broker.
Right.
Doing her Shadow Brokery things.
Yeah.
You play as Liara for, 2 hours or 3 hours.
And that might be okay. And then I'd be a little bit more interested.
See, there's a lot of potential for that because the Shadow Broker is one of those iconic characters in the Mass Effect universe.
Yeah.
I love it every time. I'd like to see some people's games where they haven't played the Shadow Broker DLC. Because if they don't do that, I don't know if Liara ends up being that character.
I think she does. It's probably just a little thing at the very beginning of the game. You know how there's options, like, if you start Mass Effect 3 as like a new game, don't transfer anything, they ask you a shit ton of questions.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
How many people did you save? How many...
Oh, I wanted to save Jack, because I just finished the side mission with the Academy, the Bionic Academy. And I saw screenshots of that, I'm like, cool, I get to see Jack. Oh, I killed her. Oops. She's not there.
No, obviously. I saved everybody.
Yeah.
Which kind of was a piss off in 3, but...
Yeah, because you don't get a lot of them back.
You really don't, like...
You get
Garrus.
And Liara.
But she wasn't really... You didn't have to save her in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Like, Garrus. Everybody else, it's like...
I won't... Do you get a Krogan on your team at any point?
No.
Lame. Krogan are the greatest.
And I was waiting, because I really wanted my team to be like me, a Krogan and Garrus.
Yeah, right? You want that one dude just rush in there.
Yeah, and then, and I met up with Grunt and I met up with Rex, because they were both alive in my universe.
Yeah, they're alive in my games.
And I'm just sitting there like, and I've met them both now, and it was just like, so, you're gonna come back on? And it's like, no, I've got my own stuff to handle it. And I mean, I realized Rex
has got a lot of responsibility.
He's the leader of he's the leader of the Krogans now. But then I have...
I was honestly surprised that Eve didn't join the team.
Yes.
I'm really surprised. Like, she would have been amazing.
Yep.
Like, as part of the group.
Yeah. I don't know.
And not having Morden during that sequence didn't really change anything.
Oh, didn't it?
No, it's just like...
Did they just give you a different guy?
Yeah, they just gave me a different guy. Because it was like a blah, 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 blah.
I used to work for Morden, or...
No, it's like, what happened was, like, we got all this intel from a Shadow message from... not Shadow Broker, but Shadow, like, Morden sent out a secret message before, in my game, he bit the bullet. So, he is still referenced, just not as prominently as it should have been. So it's just like, they mentioned his name once, and like, oh.
Kind of a cop-out.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
It could have been something really neat, but...
Where you don't even get the option to do one of the things in Mass Effect 3.
It would have been...
If you didn't get that option.
Yeah, I would like to see if there's any, like, secret missions that are locked out. Because if X person died. Like, can you kill off Miranda?
In Mass Effect 2, yeah.
So that entire sequence with her in the... Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably why they didn't introduce the characters then.
And I know that's why they didn't make them playable.
Like, is Garrus killable?
Seeing that, I don't think so. Obviously, Garrus survives no matter what.
Is that statistics in Mass Effect 2?
I don't know.
Because there's a whole wiki of, like, how... Because I remember there's an ending where you can kill everybody.
That's what I thought, too.
And then if you kill everybody, your Shepard dies, and then that save cannot be imported into Mass Effect 3.
But I think...
He has no friends to help him out.
Yeah, he has no one. I don't know. I really don't. And I mean, I realize
if Garrus is not in there, then that's a huge chunk of the game gone.
Right, unless they just replace him with another
Turian. Because because he plays a pretty integral part in the...
I think so too. I believe so. But well, he has all his calibrations to do.
Yeah, he's like someone messing around.
Yeah.
Fucking alliance. So that's all we've been playing, Mass Effect and bits and pieces.
Yeah. He's such an angry, white-haired man.
He is white. Shall we get into it?
Sure.
News.
Speaking of Mass Effect, we can start with this one.
Yeah, let's go.
You can buy their giant, massive art book.
How big is this art book?
It's pretty big. I don't know how many pages.
Is it a hardcover?
Yep.
That's...
Hardcover art book, and it's to be,
That's
it's supposed to be like the artwork from...
Oh, so it's like a coffee table book.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it comes with DLC, Tony.
Man, it's like, what doesn't anything licensed Mass Effect come with DLC?
It comes with a code for DLC for a rare, super-powered something for your character.
Question, why is it rare if anyone can buy it?
Because I don't think they think that a lot of people are going to buy this book. And you also
They underestimate Mass Effect fans.
You also get a collector assault rifle for your character, guaranteed.
They don't.
And it's supposed to be super powerful, so I'm like...
They underestimate the fans, because the fans will buy this.
You know what would have been really cool for DLC? More story stuff.
Yeah, story stuff. I like to.
Like, to me, that would have
I'd
been...
like to think that that's down the pipeline.
And I get that, but like in the book, that would have been a cool, like, then I actually would have thought about getting this art book. Because that's what I thought when I saw this story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Mass Effect with DLC
Well,
inside this book. And I'm like, sweet, so I'll get it.
Remember the figurines though?
Yeah.
No.
So,
Go
like,
on.
that's what was in there. So I'm like, I'll get an art book, and then I'll get a story DLC for free with it instead of having to buy it.
Well,
later
it really
on.
depends on how much this book is, right? If it's like $120, that's a little pricey, but
That's pricey, but at least...
it's justifiable seeing how it's 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. But yeah, to me, and I don't know, this kind of DLC is just kind of like, yeah, we can throw this in because it costs us
It's an
nothing.
EA thing.
Yeah.
It's an EA thing.
Like it's not like a, you bought this art book,
It's
here, have
probably
this DLC, like,
It's honestly probably like content that they've already made.
oh yeah. So you'll be able to buy probably these things as DLC later
Yeah.
on. It's just that this way you get it free.
Quote, freeze.
When you buy the book. Yeah.
Free.
When you buy the book, you get it free,
Mhm.
so.
Oh well.
Oh well.
That's like their figurine stuff. What is the DLC that comes with the figurines? Like multiplayer skins, I think?
I would assume so, yeah. And
What
some
a
guy
piss off.
unlocked a bunch of stuff, so.
What a piss off. Yeah, you could probably unlock all that on PC.
No, I guess on the PC there's like a beta, if you were in the beta kind of thing,
Uh-huh.
for the multiplayer, there's a different chest you can buy, which is kind of like the test stuff, and apparently his didn't get disabled. So he
Huh.
went in and he bought this chest and he got like 60 races or something on his beta account.
Huh.
So they're adding more races
Huh.
for multiplayer for all the,
I just want to
Classes
play. I just want to play as a Krogan Vanguard.
yeah, that'd be sweet. But I don't know, me and DLC, I don't know.
DLC is very.
And I'm not a huge multiplayer DLC person.
It depends on what kind of multiplayer it is.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to.
And with Mass Effect, like I really like the Mass Effect DLC.
There's a lot of potential for that DLC to be something really special, but they're not going to.
No.
You know they're not going to.
No.
It's like you get to go to this planet that's talked about in the fiction, but no.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the Normandy or whatever.
Maybe a Joker mission.
You sit in the chair and try to hit on Edie.
Not hard.
Cool. So, Super Meat Boy guys
Mhm.
are back.
Yes.
They're redesigning Super Meat Boy for the sequel, which is super exciting because now it's going to be for touch devices,
Oh.
including, I imagine the PlayStation Vita and maybe the 3DS.
If it can come out on a cartridge, probably. I'm not sure if they'd actually release it in a store, but
It depends on, well, Sony's pretty lenient about the digital stuff, so. I mean, Plants vs. Zombies is on the Vita at a stupidly expensive cost, which not worth it.
but I think 3DS wise, because
It'll be-
Nintendo sets that limit that your game can be at.
And it depends on the content too, right? Because Super Meat Boy, it's not as
They're okay with
it's-
Super Meat Boy.
It's
though.
not as out there
Yeah.
as Binding of Isaac is,
Yeah.
but it's still kind of it's got that sense of gore.
No, because they were in talks
were
to
going
get
to
it
do it for the
on
WiiWare,
Wii.
right?
Yeah,
The
it was supposed to be WiiWare, but then it was too big a file.
So, and I don't know what the limits are on the 3DS store.
I don't know. And I mean honestly, like with the Wii,
It really depends.
you didn't need what?
No, not actually.
Okay. You didn't need Super Meat Boy on the WiiWare.
No.
I'm sorry, like you already have it on Steam. You already have it on everything else.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You're good.
You have it on your phones.
Yeah, you're good. You don't
Yeah.
need it on the WiiWare. So like that wasn't a huge deal. And the Super Meat Boy
I
guys
think
got pissed off at Nintendo, and it's like, guys, come on.
I think they were gonna do it on disc, and then it would have ended up costing them
Way too much.
money.
Yeah.
But that's cool for them. I love the Super Meat Boy that I got from the bundle,
Yeah, me too.
even though it's far too twitchy a game for me to play.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's definitely not my kind of game.
again, one of those niche games,
Yeah.
which deserves to be credited more.
Yes.
So I'm super excited for whenever that comes out. So, or whatever it is looks like, because it looks like they're retooling a lot of stuff for it.
Well, that's good.
Not, who knows, making it harder.
Because that's what it needs to be.
You know, that's probably what they're gonna do too. That's what these developers love doing, is making things harder.
Oh well, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
More arcadey type downloadable games.
I enjoy arcade games.
Sonic 4,
Sonic 4
Episode 2.
is the big change one, right?
It's the big change because we've already talked about that.
Yeah, it's getting a massive overhaul.
Yeah, but Sonic Team and Sega have said that it will be the last one in Sonic 4, last episode.
That's
If there is enough, like if the fans really get into this one,
yes.
chances are we'll see 3.
We don't even know what it looks like right now.
No.
There's barely anything about it,
No.
other than textual facts.
But they're really excited about this one.
Oh yeah.
And I mean the overhauls that we've talked about sound really nice.
And
But
it's hard to make Sonic games better nowadays.
So essentially, if this one sells well and the fan reaction is really good, we'll probably see another one.
I'm really surprised there's no media about it
But
for us to even draw interest in it.
yeah,
Because that's half the battle right there, is making sure people are interested in
it'll get there.
I was under the impression that it was going to be out this month or something like that.
I'm not sure,
Like soon.
but it'll find its way.
They've been working on it for a long time.
Yeah. But I think that's the episodic content in video games. People like, everybody keeps saying they're gonna do it, and then it's like, this is a lot more work than we thought it was gonna be.
It's either a lot of work or it's just haphazardly.
Well, that's because the first episode gets thrown together and everybody's like, wow, you guys need to fix a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but it was supposed to be like an easy thing that we could just keep like throwing out and throwing out and throwing out. And it's like, no, you guys have to build a really good foundation.
And then go from there.
And then keep chucking them out. Like American Nightmare could now do that for Alan Wake.
Yeah. Oh, I finished that, by the way.
Oh, good.
Last week. Like, it only took me like half an hour.
But see, an ending that allows you to do more of them.
Yeah.
Or to do a sequel off of it now. Like you could just do Alan Wake 2. But
just make Alan Wake 2, guys. Just make Alan Wake 2.
yeah,
You know you want to.
But that's the kind of game, like that's the episodic kind of game
Yeah.
that you need that solid foundation for, and now you can start making episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Sonic 4, Episode 1,
the problem with Sonic games is that they've been changing every game,
unfortunately.
which has really hindered what the identity of Sonic really is.
But I think they're now they looked at the popularity of
Well, Sonic Generations was
Sonic Generations.
That was one of the more successful ones.
Yeah,
Isn't
it got really good ratings. It did really well in the store.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I think Sonic Team was kind of like,
Oh.
so if we changed Sonic back to the way he used to be before everybody started complaining, people like him.
Have they set any platforms for what Sonic 4?
I think everything but the Wii.
So I could get like the 3DS.
It's supposed to be coming out. 'Cause
Wait, is
Sonic
it
Generations
a digital game or is it a card game?
It's a digital game,
Okay.
but
I don't.
because Sonic Generations is on 3DS.
Yes. No. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking of something like another.
No, I
game.
saw it yesterday when
Yeah.
I was out.
Yeah. That's I was thinking of another game then.
So I don't know. Either way, it's supposed to be the last one. So like don't expect any more, but at the same time, they've kind of said if there's enough interest.
I think it all boils down to the suits, though, right?
Oh, and
So.
in that respect, it boils down to numbers, anyways. Because the suits don't give a crap that wow, these guys made a really good game and we made, a 1% profit off of it. It's they obviously need to make a larger profit off of it. They need to.
Exactly.
And then the suits will be like, wow, we can make another one, and the people, and then Sonic Team will go, okay, how was fan reaction? Because if we have to change the entire game again, that's not going to happen.
And the problem with suits is they only look at numbers. They can't really.
They only look at numbers.
They can't judge fan reaction on like message boards or.
That's
Twitter
why you need gaming people in charge of gaming companies.
Yes.
At the same time as having non-gaming people up there too, because you need someone who looks at numbers.
Yeah.
Because obviously one guy goes, wow, that game was really crazy, and that was really cool, and that was really great, but it only made $5. Don't care, keep making them.
Yeah.
Like obviously
how much did it cost us to make this game?
Yeah, obviously that.
Do that again.
Yeah, obviously that company's gonna
Or
go
don't do it
under.
again because we lost $1 billion.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously that company's gonna go under if they just keep like, you know, pushing out games because they think they're interesting but they're not selling. Like that's why
it's a tough call. It's a tough sell for, especially for digital games, because
oh yeah.
You're using far less money
Yeah.
to make a game because you don't have to push it through any certification processes. You don't have to put on discs or cards or whatever it is. It should be easier, but for some reason sometimes sales don't really match that.
But that's like looking at something like EA really wants to keep going with the Mirror's Edge games.
Yeah.
But they don't know how because that game costs them a lot of money to make.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that game, and especially, well...
And so they'd like to make it more, like they'd like to make people buy it because the people upstairs enjoy it, they think it's cool, but they also need it to make money.
Yeah.
So and that's
and
how the industry works.
They are toying around with the idea.
Totally.
I mean, they do have this amazing new engine to play around with.
Yep.
So it's just a matter of putting the pieces together and not making people nauseous about it. I know it's a huge problem with the first one, so.
Well, and there was no multiplayer, and it was too short, and it was too this, and it was, and people, like, I really enjoyed it.
It was another one of those really underrated games.
And now that you have the engine built, the things you could do.
I'm honestly surprised I haven't seen, like, some random person on the internet make Mirror's Edge 2 with the Frostbite 2 engine.
The closest thing I've come to a game that kind of uses an engine that's kind of like the one in Mirror's Edge was Brink.
But that wasn't even close though, because that's all the parkour stuff was all button pressy.
Parkour was way too weird.
It was more of like a system in place rather than more free flowy how Mirror's Edge should be.
Yeah. So either way, that's that.
Speaking of suits, this is a huge story actually.
Suiting.
This is a very huge story. Earlier this week, middle of this week, people know I follow those giant bomb guys, and this entire week they haven't really been doing anything. It's because they're moving offices. They're moving back to CBS Interactive, which is the parent company of GameSpot.com. So for those of you who don't know this, Jeff Gerstmann, he's let go from GameSpot in 2007 due to reasons he couldn't talk about up to now, because now that they're merging their companies together, Giant Bomb and Combine and CBS, they're going to be working together. But one of his stipulations was that he was be able to tell a story about what happened at GameSpot that one day.
That fateful day.
That fateful day in October 2007. So what happened was, their reviews at that time were changing to a point system, a 19-point system or something like that, where it was like exactly on the dot of percentages. And a lot of the business people, like a lot of the new business people running CNET at the time, or CBS, they saw this as, why are our game reviews lower in score than everybody else's? So they brought this up with Jeff, and they're like, what can you do to fix this? And he's like, nothing, that's how we review our games. So, and a lot of ad dollars were threatened, literally, to be pulled from the site. And apparently that happens a lot. We wouldn't know this.
Advertising?
Ads?
What are advertising?
Oh, there's none here.
This episode brought to you by Coke. Not really.
I pulled my community sticker off because it was getting one. Anyways. So,
no, and that does happen.
So yeah, and that was literally what happened was the suits didn't understand how video game reviews worked at the time. So really what happened was they had to let him go apparently. Apparently to their numbers, they couldn't trust his integrity of his reviewing, because for some reason
they're idiots.
Yeah, they're idiots. Since then, new management. So surprise. And they're working together again,
which is good.
So the key takeaway is they're not merging together. They're still going to be independent companies. Right. But honestly, the only people that really benefit from this is Giant Bomb, because GameSpot.com, big. They're big. They last on their own, regardless of what people say about reviewer integrity and editorial integrity. They will continue to exist. That's not a problem. But for the Giant Bomb guys, they make some ridiculous things. Yeah. They do a lot of ridiculous videos, and at the time, now they've been talking about this for like, I don't know, a couple months or something like that. And they're getting strapped for cash, even with, you know, premium memberships and stuff like that. Like they're finding that a lot of video content and a lot of game content was getting a little bit more harder to produce.
Yeah.
So they started looking around, seeing what they could do, and these new managers at CBS said, "Why don't you guys come back to us? We'll help you guys out." So now their production values are going to be increased like tenfold.
Yeah.
While still maintaining what that site is.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing for me, because well, a good thing for everybody, because Giant Bomb has been hugely successful since 07, 08?
08.
Yeah, something like mid 08 is when they finally got together. But ever since then, they've been steamrolling the media industry. Like they've made a huge name for themselves.
Yeah.
And you don't want to fold that into GameSpot. You want to keep them separate, but in the same offices. It's funny because they were doing an interview about that stuff last night, and when they moved back into GameStop offices, like literally Jeff and the whole gang of them, ever since 07, they had not come back to the offices until that day. So they're moving into their offices or whatever, like getting phone lines hooked up. Some people had their same phone numbers from when they left GameSpot. So it's like, huh, thanks for keeping our seat warm.
Yeah, no kidding, apparently you guys.
We missed you. So.
And I mean, GameSpot owns GameFAQs, which,
GameFAQs,
let's face it, everybody uses.
If you search up games, a certain game, and then a cheat or a guide or something, GameFAQs is probably going to be the top 2 or so list that comes up.
And people don't, and I mean, when I remember when GameSpot bought GameFAQs,
that was huge.
Everybody was like, "Oh my God, our site's going to change. Things are going to go bad. The boards are going to turn into." And I mean,
there's a few months where the boards were kind of wishy-washy.
The message boards are still wishy-washy because you get both GameFAQs message people and game. Like,
it's not so bad now, but before it was like.
Well, because the GameFAQs community, of course, comes in and completely destroys anything that the GameSpot people have to say. Mm-hmm. So.
Do you when you access message boards, do you go from the GameSpot or GameFAQs?
I go GameFAQs.
Yeah.
Because I've always like I used to be an active member on GameFAQ community boards for a long time,
and then message boards became hipster.
You know what? They really just started pissing me off.
Yeah, the amount of well, this is not just GameFAQs, but message boards in general.
Yeah.
The amount of what's that word?
Immaturity, dumbassery.
Well. I was saying ignorant, but that works too. The amount of ignorance on message boards in general is just
there's a ton of ignorance, and I don't know. To me, like people are having a really good conversation. Like you'll get one going.
Yeah, and then someone will go like, "Ha ha ha, troll," or like,
and
"This game sucks because of."
I don't even mind trolls, but you'll be having like a really good discussion, and someone's just like, "All I have to say is this," and then they post a picture to like a link to a really dumb picture.
Or like,
and you're like, guys, come on, we're having a conversation.
Like even if you're arguing with someone, like
I get the internet memes, but
as long as you're like,
have the whole point is message board. Like have your opinion, do your thing.
I find that when I
have a discussion.
I find that now that I've relegated GameFAQs boards use to just looking up information in terms of like, is this out yet or when is this happening?
And they have their answers now too, which is I've pretty much eliminated the boards now because everybody just asks the questions that you need to know in the answers thing, and you can completely skip the boards because I don't know, that's the message boards in a lot of places are just getting to be way too dumb. Smaller, lovely sites I still like Loading Ready Run. I really like reading.
The Giant Bomb forums are pretty good. The Tested forums are pretty good. Speaking of Tested,
yes,
the whole Whiskey Media site is just getting moved around.
Yep.
Tested.com and Screen.com are moving. Part of the Whiskey Media site. Tested is being, how does that deal work? Are they moving into their offices, or are they just? So earlier in the same day that they announced this, the Tested guys are working with MythBusters in doing more ridiculous things as they always do.
And not even ridiculous stuff. They're actually
doing like more intelligent stuff, and then on the side they'll do whatever video content.
Tested.com is pretty much now just home to MythBusters.
I'm okay with that. I've been on that site since it ever launched, so.
So essentially, it's still the Tested.com you love, with some added stuff about art and culture.
Yeah, they do more than just technology now.
Yeah.
They do.
Plus the added bonus of having the MythBusters write for them every once in a while.
Yeah, like how can you go wrong with that? And on top of that, they'll probably even do video content with them too.
I'm assuming.
So.
And I know like Adam Savage today posted a whole thing about his first art project that he ever sold. Like that was, so it's just like.
Wow, guys.
Seeing that you would never get off of a MythBusters site.
Yeah, it's
This is
because
something now that
does Mythbusters is owned by
Discovery,
right? So I guess does that mean Tested's owned by Discovery now?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's probably just a
The same thing as GameStop and Giant Bomb.
yeah, probably just a
Maybe.
partnership of sorts.
Hopefully just a partnership, but either way, it's there could have been no better match, I think.
No,
When it comes to internet content.
yeah, I thought when I saw that video you posted, I'm like, that's good. And then they moved over to the actual MythBusters, and you're just
Because I didn't know what was going on when I saw that trailer, and I'm like, that background looks
really familiar.
I've seen that. Oh. I'm like,
and then you find a clue in you.
this is a thing.
Yeah, so that's really exciting too.
Yeah. So congrats to.
And that'll get tested a whole bunch of funding because let's
Yeah,
face it, the MythBusters is confirmed. They're still the MythBusters.
Yeah,
they're still doing their show.
There might be even tested content on MythBusters now.
So their
It's a
show is
possibility.
going into its 9th season or whatever it is now. So.
Like
Don't
Tested.com.
be
If you don't know this, Tested.com, they use a lot of money.
Yeah.
They use a lot of money doing dumb things. So,
Which is what the MythBusters do.
Except they have a budget.
Yeah, essentially.
So
they're perfect to throw together.
So congratulations to the entire whiskey media site.
Yeah, Giant Bomb and Tested.
They're going everywhere now. Going.
You want to talk about spending a lot of money, Tony?
I love spending money.
Do you want to play 20 of the classic Neo Geo games in a handheld device?
Do I ever?
Because we talked about this. Remember
Do
we
I
talked about
ever?
the rumor
Yes. Amazing Neo Geo.
of the Neo Geo X handheld?
Pocket X.
It's
Chrome?
now a Neo Geo X
Oh.
handheld something or other. Either way, it's been confirmed.
Yes, that's a thing.
And I do not know how. Because remember, no one bought Neo Geos because
yeah.
they were $8 bajillion when they came out.
Like
you
a
could buy.
Sega, like a Sega Game Gear.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
you
it's-
could buy, you know, a Nintendo and a Sega Genesis and a Game Boy for the same price as a Neo Geo whatever.
And it didn't do anything. Did
And it played like 3 arcade games that
I
no
think
one
that
cared about.
sometimes even played the same games as
Yeah.
those games.
And so anyway, it's Neo Geo handheld.
This thing we talked about a couple of months ago.
Yep. So it comes with 20 games.
Oh, that's not bad.
Classic games, nothing new.
That's not bad.
$783 if you convert it from the price that they put over in
Huh.
Japan.
That's a lot of money.
$800 for a handheld device that plays Neo Geo titles. It's
I don't know about you, but a new iPad came out today that cost $800
yeah.
and is
You know
an
my
iPad.
You know my phone can run a Neo Geo emulator on it, right?
It runs a lot of emulators.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out. An iPad can do that too.
Yeah.
You jailbreak
Yeah,
it.
but-
That costs $500, and that's a significantly more.
How do you think you're
screen.
gonna? How do you?
That
think
is the
you're gonna-
hardest sell I've ever seen.
Does it do 3D? Nope. Does it? What's new?
Is there Wi-Fi?
No. Is
Is
there
there
new?
blue-
Is there new games coming out for it? No.
Is there Bluetooth?
No, but you can put SD memory card in it.
Oh, good. More game.
Yeah.
No, you see, I said more game.
More game. Neo Geo released some great arcade games.
Yeah, no,
Except
it's-
they've released 8,000 different collections of them over the last
If they
20
could
years.
just, buckle down, make an app for
Yeah.
Android and iOS, and even just the Vita.
Yeah, but then they charge $50.
That's less than $700.
Almost $800.
That's less than that. At $50, they could still make a little bit of profit off of
The
it.
games are done. It's all profit. Like from here on out.
Where's the developmental cost coming from? Did they need to relicense a jillion games?
I doubt it. Because like I said, they've been in Neo Geo collections. Like they've released, like King of Fighters and all those games
So-
in collections. So
Is there a list of the games?
Yeah, it's online.
But it's just nothing.
It's all they're 95% of them are fighting games.
Oh, good. How many King of Fighters are there?
I think 2.
Oh, great. I
Yeah.
could see the subtle differences between King of Fighters 95 and King of Fighters 96.
Pretty much. Like that's what gets me. Like you look at Atari, they keep releasing those Atari boxes that look like the old Ataris with the joysticks with like 40 games built into them for $40.
Those kiosks in malls sell
Yeah.
those.
For like $40, $50. That to me, totally worth it.
And you know what? For little kids,
Yeah.
yeah, it breaks. Fine.
You-
You're not breaking my real Atari.
Yeah, you want to play Pong, you can play Pong. Like with the actual
The paddle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you get the actual paddle, you get the actual box that looks like an Atari. The only thing that doesn't happen is it doesn't open up and it doesn't take cartridges.
Yeah.
Because everything's built into the built-in hard drive. $40. Because
Sometimes even
Atari
less.
knows that there's a hard drive this big in there that costs them absolutely nothing.
What is Neo Geo doing? Maybe that's why. Like, they're not doing anything. Maybe that's why they need to make money back.
Apparently they need to make a huge surplus back.
I just
how
want to
hard
know
is
what R&D went into this. Like, this thing is not even making my sandwiches.
No, like that's what I mean. Like it's hard for me to understand how you take. I know the Neo Geo was an expensive piece of hardware back when it came out.
Are they trying to replicate that?
Apparently,
Like-
they're trying to replicate the entire experience of when, like, what, 1993?
I remember when N64 games cost me $99, but
Yeah, it doesn't mean I want to start paying $100 for my video games again.
not unless you like include DNA of the creator or something like
Yeah, Shigeru Miyamoto, like.
that. Hideo Kojima spit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want part of Miyamoto's kidney. That's what I mean though. Like
That's a hard.
$800.
What do you get?
And
like-
we sit there,
Like,
looking at PS Vitas and
iPads and
iPads and 3DSs, which were costing us, you know,
monies.
yeah, like $250 we were looking at for handhelds going, okay,
That's tough, but you know what? It's probably a future investment in that.
right.
From this, and this one's not even. There's no
No
future.
games. No
there's,
games.
There's
No
no future
games.
investment in this. Like, if you put this in front of the new iPad for me,
Yeah,
iPad. I would,
done.
Yeah, like it's, no question.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Neo Geo. I don't know how
$800. You could buy like the low tier 16 gig iPad with LTE
Mhm.
and still have enough money to pay for the data services.
Mm-hmm. Or you could buy a Neo Geo handheld with 20 built-in games.
Oh, great.
That is obviously going to be a collector's item because no one's going to buy them.
Worst collector's idea ever.
Wait till they go on sale.
I'll buy it for.
There'll be like a Black Friday sale or a
I will
Boxing
buy
Day
it for
sale.
$10.
See, like to me, if you would have charged, because we were talking about that when it was rumored. Because we were saying what, 20 games and a little console.
$100 tops.
$100 tops.
Like, that's a lot of money.
Because to me, those games don't take up that much memory space anymore.
And that's like, how's the screen and stuff like that? If you're looking at the screen, if they're replicating the same resolution, there's not a lot of tech that goes behind that nowadays.
Unless they've put in a super great screen that you don't need.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's not going to make my games better. How's the processor? Is it the
That's
same?
not going to make your games better anyway. Like those games run to a certain peak,
Yeah, it's
and
like
then they're done.
yeah, it's not like an iPhone app or it's not like an Android app where you can just click the switch and up-res. It doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's not like you can take an old Super Nintendo game, put some extra like processors in there, and it'll run like crazy. That's not how these.
In fact, it might even break it.
Yeah, that's not
It
how.
might even break the game.
It's not how this old stuff works. Like it reaches its limit, and then it's done. Like it's not like you can take
You
an
might
old
even-
Super
like,
Nintendo cartridge and be like, let's 3Dify these graphics and throw it back in the Super Nintendo. Your Super Nintendo will smoke, blow up, and destroy the world. So. Like,
I want a Super Nintendo with 3D. Chrono Trigger would be amazing. That intro scene to Final Fantasy 3, amazing.
that would be amazing.
In 3D.
It's like they're walking away from me.
Oh my god.
I don't know. It's $800 for a
That's
Neo
a
Geo
lot of
handheld.
that.
So to the one guy buying it, congratulations.
You supported them for some.
You'll be able to.
How much do you think this cost them to make? That's the bigger question.
If Atari can make a thing, and I mean yes, it's an Atari, but again, it's old tech, really old tech.
Because if it cost them like.
I could
Now this is crazy. If it cost them like $500 to make, like statistically charging $800, not a bad thing.
No.
But why the hell is it costing you $500?
When like my first or second computer that I had in my house could run a Neo Geo emulator. I can buy all those parts now
Mhm.
for probably less than, I'm gonna say, $80.
Mhm. Yeah, no, yeah. You would not be too
Hard pressed to.
You would not find that difficult. Even the first generation, I was seriously considering changing my old laptop or tower computer into an arcade machine.
Yeah.
At one point in time in my life, I could still do that, but it's time. But
But that's what I mean, like,
It's crazy to think that.
because yeah, you could literally buy, I think, all the pieces you pretty much need to make that go for about $80. So, unless they're really throwing in super processors and
Wi-Fi.
great screens and
retina display. That's probably what costs. There's
but
retina.
you don't need it.
How do you know?
It's not like they're gonna.
How do you know?
It's not like they're gonna HDify all their old games. It's not
In
like it's
3D.
like Neo Geo HD handheld. Because
3D.
then all of a sudden you get they're going, okay, they've remastered all their old
Yeah,
games to make
that's-
them look pretty.
And then that would justify.
There's a beautiful new screen to go with it, with some Wi-Fi for your multiplayer.
Or downloading game updates, or more games, or.
All of a sudden, and I mean,
And
still
there's a
not,
and then there's a hard drive in there.
still to me not worth $800. But
That's just because that's
all
people.
of, yes,
It's become more useful.
at
is what it is.
least it's doing something.
Like there's not even, you can't even install apps on this thing.
No,
Like you can't play music.
No.
You can't. There's no movie.
No.
Like
I think the most you could do is literally download ROMs that run on the Neo Geo onto an SD card, plug it in, and probably play off that.
Yeah, but-
Or,
the tested guys would probably buy one of these just to see what it's like.
that's what I mean, like, hopefully someone buys one of these things, because there's...
We'll check it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll check it out. People are pretty dumb on YouTube. Sometimes.
Anywho,
Okay. Notch. He's always in the news.
always, we have
We got a couple things with him
Notch
today.
Watch.
Notch Watch.
It's back.
We love it. Notch is pro Origin. EA Origins service. But not the way you think it is, though. He still thinks the service sucks. But he is still pro it because he is not a fan of the single distribution. So, like, he loves Valve. He loves them to
Yep.
bits. But he just doesn't like the monopoly that
they
Valve
had
has created.
created, yeah.
And that's a fair argument, but I think a lot of people are going to take the story at face value and go, oh man, Minecraft's his next game, Scrolls, is going to be on Origins. And that's definitely not the case, because none of his games are on any digital service other than his own servers.
And
So-
the reason for that is because nobody allows him the freedom to do what he wants to.
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
you know, Minecraft gets patched whenever it wants to get patched.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's
It's
on... Like, that's why even the Xbox arcade game
Mhm.
for Minecraft
It's
is going to be insane for him. Like, he's going to... If he's
gonna be
involved in
tough.
any way, shape, or form with that, he's going to start pulling his hair out.
yeah, because
I have a
Microsoft.
patch, let's patch it. And they'll be like, whoa,
Mhm.
this has to go through our people? And he'll be like,
And then it has to go through those people, and it has to
It
make
has
sure
to
it
go
works with Xbox Live, so it has to go through the online community.
and then,
So-
yeah.
But yeah, like I totally agree with his line of thinking.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
I
EA,
mean-
and EA Origins has been getting better. They have a couple games down there on there now you can actually get that are not EA. I think you can get The Witcher 2 and some other racing games. That it's getting better. Or
You know, if...
it's still a resource hog.
Yeah,
is
to
the problem
me,
with that.
if Steam didn't always offer really good prices on everything,
And that's
I could see that being having a monopoly being a big deal. But
Mhm.
honestly, the amount of times that they have really good sales and the fact that they don't charge that much really on a regular basis,
Mhm.
to me doesn't warrant. You don't have to sit there going, oh man, I'm so glad they have competition now because now the prices are gonna go bad. Like,
Yeah, like I've yet to hear of an Origins sale. The only promotion that I heard was that if you pre-order Mass Effect, if you pre-order Mass Effect 3, you got a copy of Battlefield 3.
right.
See, now that would be a really good incentive, but they also stopped that like 2 days in because everybody bought the digital copies of Battlefield, or got the digital copies, they ran out. Oops. So, see if EA just needs to be open about this. So, I mean, to have Notch kind of back you, yeah, that's kind of weird, but
And he's not really.
do you think
backing
EA
you.
do you think EA should take this and run? I think they should totally go, not to side with Notch, but to say, okay, we totally agree with your thinking of Monopoly. We need to take a look at what the other competitors are doing
Yes.
and kind of go with that.
Well, and I mean that's how you enter a competitive market
Like you
anyways.
need to undercut your competitors
Yeah.
hugely and then go from there. Pick up your losses. You gotta spend money.
But we know EA is not going to do that.
They should.
Like all of a sudden they're going to
Like,
have to sit there going, well, this weekend you can get Mass Effect for 50% off. Like they're just not going to do that. At
I'm
least
honestly,
not for-
I'm honestly surprised they didn't do that for Mass Effect 2 and 1. Well, I guess not 1. 1 can't. They can't do that, but because Microsoft owns it. Yeah, Microsoft owns the Mass Effect one. That's why it's not on the PS3.
Isn't it on the PC though?
Yes, but anything goes on the PC, remember?
Well, I know, but like you could probably work out some kind of deal. That's what I mean. Like, but yeah, you'd think that you'd sit there going, okay, get Mass Effect 1 for 75% off, get Mass Effect 2 for 50% off, and then start.
And then you save $5 on Mass Effect 3 when you pre-order, when you buy all 3.
Yeah.
Or something.
I don't know. To me,
this is a good step in a lateral direction for Origin, for them to have this kind of odd support from Notch, especially him, of all people.
and it's not even supporting. He's just pointing out that in business you do need competition.
Yeah.
Except, like I said,
You can't treat it like your brick and mortar stores. You need digital distribution is vastly different.
Yeah.
When it comes to this kind of stuff.
and I mean, you know what the biggest thing that they need competition for now is, well, something you go up against iTunes.
Yeah, if they can offer some sort of like a deal for
Like
game soundtracks.
Microsoft obviously screwed that one up with Zoom, but
They almost had it.
yeah,
They almost had it.
But-
and then they screwed up.
yeah.
If,
But that's what I mean, because like that's
like if you buy the game, you get the soundtrack for your game. Like all the games, if they do that.
but that's what I mean. Like iTunes is the biggest digital distributor that really needs competition.
Yeah.
Like even their app store,
It's almost unprecedented.
our Android store has nothing compared to what they got.
Exactly.
Well,
If
like the Android, Google has to really pick it up with like hiring people to do stuff on their app store,
Yeah.
getting people to make stuff, because
I think even just sort of a sense of regulation of what goes on in the store. Like it's too rampant on the Android store when it comes to like not good things.
oh yeah, well, because they kind of let everything on, let
Yeah.
everything on, let everything on. So.
Yeah, until they get a complaint and then they'll do it.
So yeah, good for good for Origins.
Origin,
Notches
well, it's getting there. Origins is, but it's got a long way to go.
They'll learn.
First step is to improve your dumbass browser, like everything. I tried to connect Mass Effect 3 to
Through
Steam.
Steam.
So when I tried to load it through Steam, I could still talk to my Steam friends. The Origin overlay goes over that. I'm like, this is.
They know they're on to you.
Damn it! I can't just talk to anyone I want, because I only have you on Origin, and she only plays Battlefield 3.
Right. More for Notch and Mojang.
Notch Watch.
Notch Watch. And this is how when Notch Watch really started, was when Bethesda's parent company, took Mojang to court over trademark of the word scrolls. Or the title of the word scrolls. Everything's over.
Mm-hmm.
No one really won.
Stalemate.
Essentially, Mojang agreed that they would drop their trademark for the word scrolls, the title scrolls, if they got to use it for the game. So, the game Scrolls is still coming out, and it will be the game Scrolls.
But no longer will they ever use. They won't make a Scrolls 2. It'll be,
They can make a Scrolls 2,
okay. Then.
but someone else can now make a game called Scrolls,
Oh, okay.
essentially.
Well, it's to stop Bethesda or ZeniMax from doing this all over again.
Because they won't apply for another trademark.
Mm.
The only problem is any game
Oh,
company...
what ZeniMax is part of the offer then? What are they losing? Or gaining?
Nothing. They stopped Mojang from getting the trademark on the word Scrolls.
Okay.
So, because that was their big thing, was
These games are completely the same now for some reason. You guys,
Elder Scrolls and Scrolls are very close.
One's really old.
And even when you have Notch going up, we'll never add a prefix or any kind of thing to. We'll never add like a pronoun before
and the fact that
it or
the art,
anything after it.
art for the word is going to be vastly
completely
different.
Yeah.
The box art or
One's
whatever.
cartoony, one's super realistic.
Yes.
One's this, one's that. One's this kind of game, one's that kind.
One's a
of game.
card game. One's,
Yeah.
So, well, I guess.
So they still get to use Scrolls.
All tails intact.
Yeah. Everybody left kind of happy-ish, I guess. I mean, you still get to use your title, and they really didn't care about the trademark. They just kind of put it in at the same time as they trademarked
and that's
Minecraft
fine.
because they didn't want,
And that's cool.
Yep. So, that's not one.
Well,
That's,
that's probably the best thing that could have happened because you don't want to piss off ZeniMax.
no, and they would have taken you straight into the gutter anyways, so.
Yeah, you won't want to incur that wrath.
That's it for Notch Watch.
Notch Watch over.
Notch Watch.
Microsoft with their supposed new console. A lot of rumors are flying about. One confirmed rumor: nothing will be shown this year at E3.
That's not
They're
surprising.
not doing any hardware announcements, which I mean, if they were gonna announce stuff, they probably should. Maybe I believe they're gonna be showing off new tech, not.
I bet you they're going to focus a lot on the Kinect.
A lot of Kinect, they're gonna do a lot of tech stuff, like on our whatever. This is what the technology we're working on, but they're not gonna show off like the console because that's what the Move controller was like when back in let's make up year 9. They kept saying motion control this, but they never really talked about it until.
I'm not sure if Xbox will do that. They're pretty lackluster at E3 all the time. Like, I literally think they're going to walk out with another...
Like,
they're going to walk out with Cliff Bleszinski again.
Yep, and he's going to be like, here's a War Forward, or...
Yeah, he'll say something weird, or he'll come out with, like, a kid's game.
Yeah, that's actually... that'll happen.
Like, that'll be
something. But Microsoft is very lax when it comes to their things.
Yeah.
I miss, Allard? What's his name? Jay Allard?
Yeah.
I loved him. He was so fake. Zune.
No, to me, I don't know, Microsoft,
Honestly, quite honestly, I'm really surprised that they're not going to be doing a hardware announcement. Because this year would have been a great time for them to be like, new console in 2014, guys, or 13, or something like that.
But do you really want...
It's been a long time for the Xbox 360.
It has been, but do you really want your Xbox guys who can't get a crowd going up against Reggie, who's announcing...
Even Sony's stuff is... They get a huge crowd.
They get a good crowd, but they're good on stage.
And they're good on stage, too.
Microsoft is always junk on stage, so do you really want to be announcing something new when you know for certain that Nintendo is bringing an entire new console?
That's true. And it depends on how...
Because it
really depends on what the rumors are, if the rumors are true, or what's... There's a lot of things...
Because your biggest thing for Xbox this year is going to be Once Upon a Monster #2. And Disneyland, or Disney World Adventure for your...
You know what, Epic... I'm calling it right now. I think Epic is going to make a huge stage appearance. Because they are celebrating their 25th anniversary this year.
Oh, yeah.
And Epic, for some reason unbeknownst to me, really loves Microsoft.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like, Gears of War HD Collection.
Gears of War actual chainsaw controller. Gears of War...
Gears of War themed Xbox 360.
Yeah. Which you all get today underneath your seat.
Gears of War themed Kinect. And your
Kinect now shoots laser beams at you if you don't do it properly.
You need to make a sound. Okay, that would be kind of cool.
That would scare the crap out of me.
That would be awesome, playing Gears of War, and then like to turn on your Lancer, and then like he does it.
But
yeah, like I don't.
To me, that's their big. I think that's their thing. Is
it really depends. Like they haven't. I can't remember the last time they had a really strong E3 presence though.
Xbox 360 when no one else really had a new system coming out.
Yeah, that was with Jay Allard, right?
Yeah.
With the really weird circular stage.
Well, and then they got Grand Theft Auto, and that was a big one.
Yes, when Peter Moore did his gun showing.
Yeah, but otherwise they really haven't, because they've been focused, and I mean the last few years they've really been trying to push the Kinect, which in all honesty has worked for them.
Yeah, I'm surprised how well it has advertised. I'm really close to getting one, if not only just to play with Dance Central.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like they've pushed the Kinect so much in the last few years.
It works.
And it's been working. So I think they're going to do one more year of that just to pretty much get everybody solidified on the Kinect, and then next year, once they've got a firm actual console,
they'll put the Kinect in the console or something weird.
It'll work with the new console. It better work with the new.
No, 99% sure.
Yeah,
it'll happen. It has to. They're not gonna Connect for Xbox Next or something like that. Yeah. They can't isolate the environment.
No, and I honestly think that's even Nintendo's doing it. You can still use your Wii controllers with the Wii U. Mm-hmm. I think that's the new wave of doing something. Is you all of a sudden don't need to rebuy all of your stuff.
You need retro compatibility with all your past software controllers.
But why do you need a new controller for a new Xbox?
Well, that's the thing with
unless it's going to have faster input wirelessly, I really don't... my Xbox controller is just fine. I do not need any more buttons on my Xbox controller.
Yeah, I feel as if controllers nowadays are at the right amount. The PlayStation 3 is good, the Xbox is good,
the Wii U obviously needs it, or the Wii obviously needs a crap load more buttons.
Well, it also...
it needs an actual
there's other problems with the Wii controller other than lack of buttons. But.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to say, and it goes back to my argument. I think it was last week I was talking about it, or whatever. Is at what point do do consoles get any better? Because I can't see it getting any better.
I think past next generation, you're pretty much done until you can start making actual virtual reality type
Yeah.
machines that can go in a home for a reasonable amount of money.
Yeah, and that's like 2020,
Oh yeah, that's ages away.
2020, maybe 2030, something like that.
So I think as a like Microsoft as a hardware company actually has to start looking at making console and PlayStation and Nintendo. They have
Would
to
you
look
be? Would it surprise you if? Now this is obviously going to happen, but would it surprise you if Microsoft didn't really do anything at E3 at all?
this year.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, they could almost get away with no press conference.
They'll do a press conference.
Like, it'll be like it'll be like half an hour long. Like, this is Kinect, guys.
You still
Go
need
live.
a big press conference. So like you
Go
said,
live.
Epic Games will come out.
Epic Games is gonna be 343 Studios will come out with the new Halo stuff.
Halo 4 will be their
Yeah,
capstone for everything.
Yeah, you know what? Guaranteed, press conference will open with Halo 4.
Open or close,
Open.
or open and close.
Open.
A
Open.
bunch of stuff in the middle with Kinect.
Yes.
There will be a brand new sports game that looks just like all the other sports
It'll
games.
be Kinect Sports Season 3.
There will be more Fable for your Kinect.
Yeah, the last Peter Model new game.
Damn.
Oh boy, we still can't get away from him.
Like I said, Once Upon a Monster 2, because that game sold really well.
Yeah, surprisingly. So.
So that's that. Yeah, they're gonna do their main focus on Kinect, Halo 4, and Gears of War.
Software.
The same that they did last. You
It's-
can pretty much they'll just
copy
broadcast
paste.
last year's show.
Copy paste it and
Yeah.
just like
Add some 2s and some 4s.
yeah,
at the
it's a
end.
Photoshop edit.
There's just like Once Upon a Monster 2. What?
I remember Tim Schafer's hair being a little longer than that. No.
No, he got it cut just for this show.
Oh.
He wanted it to look like last year. Yeah. Yeah, he really
Are
liked
you
that
sure?
look last year. And then he said like on the press conference, or he's on the floor for E3 talking, and it's like, did you get your hair?
You said no, or he's not even there at all. He's still working on his other game.
Yeah. Cause yeah, like Konami, any big announcements are gonna go over to PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft picked up Rising.
Yes.
I would not be surprised because that's a pretty big deal for them.
Yeah. They might. If they make us, for them, I'd like to see a stronger hardcore presence at E3 from them.
Yeah,
this
they've
year.
been doing a lot of casual stuff, especially with Kinect, which
They've
is not a
been
bad
really
thing
good.
because that's the target audience for
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So.
Which is why, like, even I read an article, Sony's even sat there going, we kind of screwed up with Move because
Oh, yeah, they totally
we
did.
forgot to advertise to the people that it actually matters to.
Yeah.
Like, we made a casual thing and then we stopped advertising for it.
Like all the games for it, all the software for it, it's all like hardcore stuff. That's the problem with Move.
Yeah,
Like, I
'cause
can't-
hardcore people don't want to
Like I
really.
like I'll do it for like an hour.
Yeah.
When Bioshock Infinite comes out, and I'll be like, okay,
That was fun.
that was neat, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, and I mean, like, sell Move with Little Big Planet. That's a perfect game.
Like they connect with the game software, perfect idea. And they did it with the Move for a little bit, but they need to do it with other games. They just need to push it.
They really need to push.
And like if they're going, I would not be surprised if Sony went to E3 not even talking about the Move.
But they barely did last year.
Yeah.
They had like that
Yeah.
one little segment where they're like, "Here's some brand new games," and everybody's like,
Yeah, like
"Me."
and then Ken Levine comes up on stage and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make a Bioshock game with the Move controller."
Yeah, and everyone's like,
Cool. It's still gonna be Bioshock, right? Yeah. Cool.
can we still play with a controller? Yeah.
Cool.
It's Move compatible. So you mean if I bought one of those, I can finally use it? Yeah. Cool. I think Kinect did some, like, they really went different,
Oh, they're totally different.
and then PlayStation kind of just came out with a new Wii remote,
That's all it was.
and you're kind of sitting there going, guys, like,
They can do better than that. Is what
Right.
I think about it. Because when the iToy first came out on the PS2, that was amazing. Because
Yeah,
it's like
different,
I'm in the game
Yeah.
doing whatever, and they kind of backpedaled from there.
Yeah, and then Microsoft pretty much stole that, improved
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
You got Kinect now.
Yeah, like if Sony had continued on with what they were doing with iToy,
They'd essentially have Kinect on
yeah,
it.
they would have had a Connect.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Either way, we have to wait till E3,
Yeah, no, nothing.
where we'll be doing the same thing we did last year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, what to go to next? Okay, Diablo. Did you know there's a big Blizzard game coming out this year, Tony?
No, I
It's-
don't believe it. I'll see it when it's on shelves.
Well,
Has to be on shelves.
Mine won't be on shelves. It'll be digital download. But
They're selling you a coupon for jelly beans.
Sweet. I don't even like jelly beans.
There you go.
May 15th, Diablo 3 coming out.
It's a game.
But guess what's not coming with it at launch? PvP.
Isn't that a thing in Diablo?
You know, I never played on servers where you could kill each other.
But I thought that was a huge thing.
I think it was. Because when I played Diablo 2, I always played where I couldn't get my stuff stolen.
Yeah.
That was kind of important to me,
Mhm.
is if I was going to spend 100 hours collecting gear.
It's like clicking on a mouse button was worth it.
Yeah, I really did not want someone to come up behind me, kill me, take all my stuff, and run away.
Peace.
Yeah, because
No.
that's what would happen.
Well, how's the community reacting to PvP? Or
they
lack
know
thereof?
that they know
Lack
that it's
thereof.
coming,
Okay.
so I think they're kind of like.
I mean, Blizzard's good for patching in free stuff anyway, so.
And it's not, yeah, PvP is not going to cost anything.
No.
It's just going to be a patch or two later because they're still kind of working on it. So I mean, this gives everybody the opportunity to play through the single player camp, like through it as by themselves, and then get online and kind of get their feet wet. And then
Because they can still play with.
you can still play with other people.
Yeah, you can still play with other people. You just can't hit them.
Right, you just can't all of a sudden get out of town and smoke them with a heavy axe.
That's the
or
only
whatever.
difference here, because you can still, there's a huge community. Like, if they had come out of the gate saying, multiplayer's not going to be ready for the next, I don't know, whatever.
Then people would have been pissed.
Like, I would have been like, really, guys?
Yeah,
I'm not even going to get your game, and that's the reason.
What's the point?
That's what I know Diablo and Diablo 2 to be, is multiplayer.
Yeah, I think this way it just lets people get in my opinion, it just lets people
Yeah,
get their
it's-
feet wet.
'cause they
it
know
forces you to cooperate.
They
for a
know,
while.
like, a bajillion people are going to be playing this. So
And I
don't
think
want-
they talked about putting arenas or something in there anyway, so there are going to be like PvP types, like zones, even in like a PvE type environment,
But it's just controlled, kind of thing.
where it's kind of a 1 versus 1, like you hop in and then you go player versus, and then you fight. So I'm not sure if those aren't going to be in the game quite yet, or if it's just going to be the servers where as soon as you leave the town, you're like fair game.
Yeah, campers.
Yeah, so you're just like, hey, you start getting shot and you jump back into town.
Arrows.
Yeah. Find a new server. It's okay, guys.
Oh well. Oh, that's not that thing either. And you know, it's probably because they're experimenting this time around with the whole real money trading stuff.
Yeah,
right?
they got all that going on.
So they probably want people to build up a wealth of inventory before it's even,
yeah.
feasible for.
And
the
to
people.
me, Diablo has always been.
I've always wanted to play like multiplayer, not like versus or PvP.
Yeah, it's a co-op.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Because when it boils down to like the PvP and Diablo game, you're just standing there. There's no dynamic.
You're
combat.
standing there like
You're clicking.
attack,
heal,
attack,
heal,
attack,
buff,
yeah,
buff, buff.
potion. Yeah. Yeah, to me
There's no dynamic. There's no sense of thrill in that.
and I mean even
Okay.
World of Warcraft I think has more. Like at least it's auto attack, and then you kind of have to get your rotations.
Mhm.
You know, with Diablo, it's
Oh.
literally like, and completely stat based.
Mhm.
Because I would play with, like when I played Diablo 2, I played with my friend who had like 300 hours put into his character. Well, he'd walk me through maps.
Yeah,
Everything would just die in front of him, and I had beat Diablo, I don't know how many times. I didn't get much experience from it, but all of a sudden it shows my character like beating Diablo 1,200 times, and I could get to the nightmare levels where all this good armor would drop. So I got all this good armor, I put it in my chest, and then I went and leveled up on my own on like another server with people my level, and every time it's like, you hit level 5, it's like, yeah, new armor. Like I had armor prepped for when I got up.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's
and it was like, everybody's like, where did you get that? And it's like, no, pretty much, and then everybody accuses you of that.
So May 15th, get your pre-order on if you haven't already.
Or if you have the year-long...
Yeah, they make it very simple. Can you preload it yet?
No, I checked.
Okay, well...
I'm assuming by May something or other.
It'll probably be like a week before, or maybe even a few days before.
Probably a few days, or the night before.
So you can get right into your Diablo 3.
Right after school ends for me.
Pretty much.
Because I'm in that spring course that goes till May 14th.
Oh, is that... I'll talk to you about that. Cool.
Yeah. Holy cow, we have a lot to talk about today, Tony.
No, we're done. We're done. Soon. Tim Schafer, we mentioned him earlier.
We did.
He is a prominent game developer. He went to Kickstarter to do his game.
Yes.
His new adventure game.
New adventure
And
game.
the funding for that has ended on Tuesday.
Now, what was the goal?
His goal was to get $400,000
Okay.
to make a adventure game.
Right. How much did he make, Tony?
He made $3.4 million. I'm gonna load up my calculator to see how much percentage he went over in his, I guess, funding.
I think we should start a Kickstarter fund, Tony.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Barrel Roll News. Trying to
Kickstarter.
get off the ground. Need more equipment.
I just realized my calculator doesn't do millions.
Oh.
Maybe if I turn it off to the side.
I was going to say turn it sideways.
I get more numbers that way. How many zeros is a million?
Lots. More than we'll ever see.
That's a million, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I did it wrong. Hold on. Fact checking.
English majoring.
Okay. Divided by 400,000. 400,000 or 40,000? 400,000. Yeah. He went over 8.5 times his. This game better like control the world or something.
You know what, honestly, if they split development of this money into like 3 different games or something like that.
They should. Well, they probably won't. And a good chunk of it will go towards, like they've had to like drastically re-budget their cost of this game.
No.
Really. like, cause I think a quarter of the money that they're raising was for the documentary of this movie, of this game. So, obviously, things have changed since then. The documentary's still coming out, but
Yep.
the scope is completely different now.
Donate money to Barrel Roll News, you get in the credits of the newscast. We'll just have to make the credits that much longer because we know how many people are going to donate. Because apparently Kickstarter works really well.
There's a new game on Kickstarter.
I know, there's always new games
2.
on Kickstarter.
Wasteland 2, it's past its goal already, and it went up on like Wednesday.
Yeah. I looked on Kickstarter after all this started because I wanted to see if there was some other smaller things that I could be supporting. Things that hadn't quite reached their goal yet.
Or like you could be that one dude to give them the $5 to go into development.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I wanted to see if I could be that guy that kind of put someone to 100%. And
there's not a lot, but
there's not a ton of stuff on there, and most of the stuff on there does do fairly well. So
yeah, it's either like super
or
successful.
there was a game like I looked at one and it was still at 0% and it had been up for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, I feel bad. Maybe I should kind of get you guys going. I'll give you. And I looked and I'm like, no, there's a reason no one's giving you guys money. Your game idea and like the whole idea of it was just junk. So I'm like, never mind.
I'll give you $5.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get funded. Oh, I tried.
Yeah.
Sorry. So congratulations.
Yes.
I guess.
Kudos.
We don't know what's going on now that he is in full swing of
now that
production.
he's got $8 bajillion.
He's got all the monies in the world.
All the money in the world to work with now.
And you have to, like, there's also like secret donations apparently. There's because Kickstarter only allows like X amount of rewards, but then on the note it says we can't put these rewards on here because we ran out. But go onto the website.
Yeah, I saw that if you donate so much money, you get lunch with him and all this other stuff, and
I was like, wow.
signed pictures and yeah.
An undoctored picture of Ron Gilbert.
Yeah.
Smiling.
Okay, I'm only gonna do one more. I don't really care about you, Capcom. Okay, we can go over that quick. Capcom, hoping no more typos. They think they finally figured out a way because they even spelled their name wrong on the Steel Battalion commercial.
They spelled Capcom wrong?
They spelled CAPCPOM.
Capcom?
Capcom.
Capcom?
Capcom. That's what they spelled on their own commercial. They're brilliant people.
We can work there.
And just a heads up, just to mention, because I think this is really cool, Encyclopedia Britannica has been in print for 244 years. It is now done.
Yes.
They're going digital.
It's as long as they're still thing.
Yeah, yes. Obviously, Encyclopedia Britannica is going to be a thing forever.
It's one of those historic things.
But now you go online to get it. So
that's cool.
That's cool for them. And then the last gaming thing I really wanted to talk about, which is why I flew through those two, Obsidian Entertainment.
Yes, they make all right games.
Yeah. They lost. They were this close, Tony.
How close to this close?
They literally needed a couple numbers to change on some reviews from some major sites to change, and they would have gotten their bonuses for Fallout New Vegas. But alas, the reviews just weren't that good.
Well,
And they didn't make extra money for making that game.
Well, I did get the game for free when I bought that sweet item for TF2.
Yeah, me too. I got my Pip-Boy, that's right. When I bought my Pip-Boy, I got that weird game that really wasn't all that good. I'm not surprised by this, so I don't know why they are. We didn't get our bonuses. Maybe you should have made a better game. That's the whole point of the bonus program.
Well, instead of making your Ultimate Edition,
yeah,
they should have funneled the money into making patches or better content for free.
or a better game.
Well, I mean...
The game concept was, again, cool, but see what was cool about Fallout 3, from my perspective, is you're born, which was just creepy.
Oh, that's awesome.
But you grow up and you get to be comfortable inside the vault.
Yeah.
Like, half that game could have taken place in the vault and you would have been like, this is awesome.
Yeah, like the character interactions,
So just as you're getting comfortable, and they give you that nice, like, safe environment with the story and the characters.
It's putting a warm blanket over you and then kicking you out into the fridge.
Essentially, that's what they do,
Yeah.
and that worked perfectly.
Like that, and then after that, anything you wanted to do.
So you got used to your, like, you know, you got to pick your skills and all that
Yeah.
stuff in a way that was fun and interactive. You got to pick all this stuff you got to learn how to control everything in a way that was fun and interactive.
Yeah.
Then you start Fallout New Vegas.
Well, New Vegas, the problem with New Vegas was that there was no connection in the narrative.
No.
I didn't feel any connection to my dude.
Which you're not really supposed, well, yeah, to like the actual guy in New Vegas.
Yeah, your character.
Because all of a sudden, you're getting shot by Matthew Perry.
Which I didn't realize that was happening until after it had happened.
Right.
Because it was a cutscene. I'm like, oh, that's the neat things. Random things happen. Oh, that was me.
Yeah. Oh, I got shot. So you get shot. You get brought back to life. You choose your powers with like all in the span of like
5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like a minute.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes you spend
Mhm.
making your face, selecting your powers, and then it's like, why don't you go off that way and shoot some crap with blah blah blah, and they teach you how to use the
And it doesn't help.
system.
And it doesn't help that the game is buggy as.
And the game is so buggy, so you sit there like, I never got out of the first town.
I couldn't even get past. Oh, I got past the character creation, but
Yeah.
by guessing. But the part where they're doing the Rorschach test.
Yeah.
It was a purple screen for me on all the Rorschach paintings. It was like, what does it look like? Purple square. What does it look like?
Purple square.
Purple square.
Yeah, they do that thing, and then they have you hold that, like, you know, pull
That's
it, squeeze.
cool. I like the only part about that intro was that the skill thing. That was cool.
And that was
was interesting. They could
yeah.
have done way better, but that
Like,
was only the best part about that scene.
Yeah, like to
For
me it was just all broken up. So honestly, Obsidian, I'm not mad that you
You know
guys
what the
didn't get your
weird thing
bonus.
is? They made Fallout.
Yeah.
They made Fallout 1 and 2.
Yep. And then Bethesda got it for 3.
And then we were like, holy shit, what if they two got together and did it? And then they kind of did it. They
No,
took what
Obsidian
took what Bethesda had done.
And screwed it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because Skyrim obviously is perfect.
Yeah. I don't know, Obsidian, we've just been having not great luck with them as of late. Oh well. So that's it for gaming news.
Yeah,
Oh no, you got one thing left, dude.
Yeah, we do.
We were saving it for the end.
Well, not really saving it. But.
Go for it.
Phil Harrison is the ex-president of Sony Entertainment, Computer
Yeah.
Entertainment, for video games, so whatever Kasurai is doing now.
Yep.
He left the company, I think, somewhere in 2010 or something like that. 09.
I think 09 or something.
09, something like that.
Yeah.
He went to Atari for a little bit, and he was doing okay there.
Yeah, and then he left.
And then Atari was kind of like, you know, they weren't really making great games, so he was like, see you guys later.
Atari not making good games?
Not Phil Harrison's fault. He had to leave. He's at Microsoft now. He is the what is he now, like the president?
VP of something or other.
So
VP of internal business junk yada yada yada.
something like that. So Sony is now slowly taking over everything, or is it the other way
I
around?
think it's the other way around. Microsoft is stealing Sony people.
Well, I mean, as long as he doesn't give away Sony secrets, which probably signed agreements about that.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that, and not that he'd remember now. Sony is gonna make this thing. It's called the Move. Yeah, we know about that already.
Are you guys gonna take advantage? How are you guys gonna? Anyways, He'll call all the betas betas. So that's weird news. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to not see him at E3.
Yeah, I was gonna say we normally don't get those kind of moves. Like we'll get people from Atari moving up to one of the big three, or we get like a lower guy moving up to one of the big three. You don't usually get a guy
like
from
Peter,
one big
Peter
three
Moore
company. Yeah.
going to EA. That's kind of stuff you see, or like someone from EA going to Nintendo or something like that.
Yeah.
But you don't see.
You never see like someone from Sony moving over to the Xbox side of things. So it's not that they hate each other, but
it's just really weird.
Yeah, it's just odd to see.
Who knows what's going to happen with that? Whatever decisions happen. Best of luck to Phil Harrison. I liked him when he was doing his thing.
I know you liked him. I was just
He's one of those. Him, Kaz, and I can't remember the other guy now.
You know that guy?
I know him.
With the face.
He's got the face and the hair.
And the nose.
Sometimes.
But
yeah, like he was one of the people that started Sony. So.
Yeah, so
that's huge.
That's big for him and big for Microsoft.
Pretty much big for everyone.
Yeah. Movie and just
TV.
movie.
Movie news this week.
Just movie, no TV stuff.
Just movies.
Did you enjoy? Have you watched Community yet?
I watched Community.
How was Community?
There's a homage to the whole them coming back after a while because it opens up in the cafeteria and then there's a portion of the cafeteria that's like busted ass. So they're trying to recreate it and figure out what to put in there. Like, man, it's been broken for a while. They're like, yeah. When are they gonna put something new there?
So there's TV news, everybody.
Community's back, and it is better than
back.
ever. It is. It's awesome, is what it is, and yeah, it feels back at home. On Thursdays, right next to Big Bang Theory.
You know what, and this is kind of talking about just canceled shows.
Mm-hmm.
What's kind of exciting me is the people at Netflix are really starting to kind of help out shows that aren't doing all that well because Terra Nova is supposed to be starting on Netflix.
I heard about that. Netflix is really experimenting with
their own content.
Yeah, have you watched Lilyhammer?
No, it's supposed to be good.
They keep trying to make me watch it.
Yeah, it's always in my top 10 list.
It's always top 10 is on the banner.
Yeah,
it's bigger than the Netflix bar. I'll give it a shot once X-Files is done.
I keep meaning to kind of, I'm in Buffy right now, but it's kind of like, I should really watch that. I should watch one episode or two.
Because it's only a season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
24.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if it's that many episodes, but I don't know. Either way.
So that's cool for Community back.
Yeah.
I'm
but
super excited.
I like Netflix just because they're saving some shows that I enjoyed Terra Nova.
Yeah, it was not a bad show.
But it was on at a weird time that just wasn't conducive to me watching it.
And you know what? It's good for.
And
they get a lot of licenses from shows that we don't really even get here
in
Canada. Like a lot of Japanese animes are tough to get. Sherlock, a lot of BBC shows.
Yep. Yeah, so to me, if they keep picking up shows that get canceled,
I would not be surprised if now just knock on wood, Community not getting canceled, but if it ever did,
hopefully Netflix would pick it up because it's a huge show on Netflix.
They keep recommending it to me, and I'm like, no,
I've already watched it.
I can quote it. Yeah. Don't try to recommend it to me and know what to do.
Either way, I guess we'll get into.
That's good.
Yes. Movies.
You want to start?
Sure. Did you like Jurassic Park?
I loved Jurassic Park.
Well, guess what?
What?
On July 19th of 2013, you can watch it again, Tony.
Oh?
But in 3D.
Pre-ordering my tickets now. 6 seasons in the movie.
I'm not sure this movie needs...
It doesn't...
The 3D.
You'd be surprised how many things you experienced in 2D really benefits in 3D though. Because playing Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D, I've memorized that game from the PS2 and the PS3 HD collection. There's a lot of scenes in that game that really benefited with 3D. Yeah,
but games going to 3D and movies going to 3D are
and that's
really
a
big difference.
It's...
Especially...
the only scenes that really pop out at me is the one where the guy gets bitten up in the toilet
Right.
That would be cool as the dinosaur comes towards the screen.
If they can get it 3D-ified properly.
They'll do it. They wouldn't do it if they couldn't.
And your other big issue is if you've watched Jurassic Park in the last little bit, those graphics don't hold up all that well. The music's great, Jeff Goldblum's amazing, but those graphics just don't quite hold up like they used to. Remember when Jurassic Park came out and everybody's like, oh my god, they like literally must have created dinosaurs to make this movie because it looks so amazing. And now you watch it
They're
now
not,
and
they're
you're
not
like,
graphics though, so.
they're not horrid, they're
They're suits, so, well, not suits, but animatronics.
yeah, but not all of them. Some of that stuff's CG.
The raptor stuff, I think is CG.
And all the tall stuff, like the wide shots, are all...
The brachiosaurs, whatever.
Yeah, when they get really close up, it's the rubber stuff, which is totally cool.
Yeah, and that will be neat in 3D, especially like when the raptors come real close up.
Again, if it works.
I haven't heard any complaints about Phantom Menace though, in 3D.
Other than the fact that it's...
Other than the fact that it's Phantom Menace, but...
from what I've heard, it didn't have to be 3D-ified.
Well, of course not, but it's one
And
of those...
that's my thing. Just re-release Jurassic Park.
They a little bit did.
They do here every once in a while.
Once periodically.
But literally, like...
It's one of those hard sells where I think they're trying to get it into the audience that hasn't really seen Jurassic Park before.
They're just trying to sell 3D.
That too, but...
To me, that's all they're...
Today's audience enjoys 3D much more than we appreciate. Like, I don't really care what it is.
See...
It doesn't make a break for me.
And it does to me because I can't see the 3D.
Okay.
So I'm not obviously going to go see it, which kind of bothers me because I'd like to go see Jurassic Park. And I forgot what movie they had 3D-ified, and I was reading online. There was literally like 3 scenes that were 3D. The rest of the movie, they took their glasses off.
I took my glasses off when I watched The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah.
That didn't help the movie, but whatever.
It was still a mess.
What?
It was still in my face. So, oh well, July 19th. That's pretty
July 19th of 2013.
Well, at least they're working on it, so it's a while.
Yes.
So they will. 3D conversions have been improved since days of yore. So.
Here's hoping.
Nathan Fillion is someone we appreciate a little bit. He has been cast as Hermes in the Percy Jackson Sea of Monsters movie.
The sequel to the Thunder.
Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief.
That's the one.
It's a very good book. Those are very good books.
The movie was not bad.
So, and the movie is really good too. But to see Nathan Fillion as Hermes,
I know it's gonna be great.
that's gonna be so amazing because
Now,
he's gonna be.
There's already a Hermes, so he's gonna be replacing.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
So obviously, the people who made that movie smartened up and obviously knew that
Hermes wasn't that great in that movie.
that they obviously needed someone like Nathan Fillion to spice up their movie.
And I'd actually gone on with a long time thinking that the Percy Jackson, like the movies would have been, that's it. They did one and then,
I kind of thought that too.
like
I was expecting a sequel.
like, cause I knew there was like 4 or 5 books.
Yeah.
And that was the assumption that they would make more,
Mm-hmm.
much like the Golden Compass, among the things.
It ruined that. Though.
So I thought Percy Jackson 2 was gonna come to the wayside like that.
Here's a fact: if you want to make a movie based off of a book,
You should
especially a fantasy novel, you should probably follow the book as closely as humanly possible.
Yeah, there's other problems. And with Nathan Fillion behind it, I don't think it'll, like if he says okay with it, then there's probably something awesome in it.
See, I've never read The Lightning Thief. Like I've never read the Percy Jackson books.
I
But
read the Lightning book, the Lightning.
I found the movie enjoyable. So
Yeah.
if there's a sequel, I will watch it.
And that kind of narrative when it comes to Percy Jackson, it really just benefits with multiple iterations, like different, not episodes, but different sort of adventures.
Stories, yeah.
Because they are adolescents,
Yeah.
and they're going on adventures like Harry Potter would, like
Yeah.
those other kid.
But see,
fantasy
Harry
stuff.
Potter, the movies did so well.
Mhm.
Because
because they're like almost to a T, except for like character casting, which Hermione was really weird. I didn't
No,
like
she
that.
was.
I didn't like initially Hermione.
I did. I thought she worked, but
They follow her really well though.
they follow well, and I mean they had to cut stuff for length, obviously. But
Yeah,
at least like when when you make that kind of movie, you really want the author to have last say on a lot of stuff, with which J.K. Rowling did. Like, it was like she had, you know, word on casting, word on this, word on that, word, like, you know, it was like, okay, you want to hire this person? No, that person does not fit my bill. I was thinking of this person.
Yeah.
This person does not fit this. And all of a sudden they got hired, like, you know, all of a sudden these people got hired into the movie while she was still writing the books, and she's like, oh, this is great. So,
Yeah.
and then the people in the movies got a chance, like, she talked to the guy who played Snape.
We know him, don't
I totally...
Albert something.
No.
No, not Albert.
I know his name.
We were talking about him.
I know. We talked about
Alan
him.
Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Okay, so she would talk to him before the books were done, saying what was going to happen to his character and what had happened to his character that people didn't know about. So when he was in like the fourth movie, he could actually act that way.
Yeah, but that's the difference. Like the Percy Jackson books won't really benefit from that, though.
They won't, but like it's nice if an author actually gets involved, because they obviously created this world and those characters and this, and then all of a sudden.
Or at least you should get a person who knows the fiction well.
Yes,
like an aficionado.
Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings.
Yep. Well, they got all the pros, like they got all the art, like they
Yeah.
got the major artists.
Yeah.
They got, you know, Peter
And
Jackson, who's
Peter
been
Jackson.
in love with that book forever. Like,
Yeah,
in that
I
series.
think that's one of the inspirations too. So,
Yeah.
Like him, that's a perfect. fit.
So, yeah, no, that works fine. It's just all of a sudden you get something like The Golden Compass, where obviously no one who wrote the book was involved in that movie whatsoever.
I bet you like it was like while they were filming, they're making a movie on the book.
What?
On
Yeah.
my book? Really?
Really?
When? I don't. Steve, did you? Oh,
Did you?
you signed that?
Oh.
No.
But I think, and I mean, like I said, I haven't read the Percy Jackson books, but they turn into good movies.
Yeah, they're really well done.
So,
And only to have Nathan Fillion back,
yeah, if Nathan Fillion's in something, I'm obviously there.
yeah, that's kind
So,
of sold.
an extra ticket sold now. I won't be
Pre-order.
having, yeah.
Don't care.
The world better not end this year, because next year at Christmas we're getting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie.
Yay, the real one.
The real one.
The good one, the
Yep.
suits.
People are involved. I
Are they-
forgot who they are.
Are they bringing the suits back? Like
Yeah,
the
the
original
suits are back. No, I'm not sure if they're bringing the suits back or if we're getting new suits.
Oh, that's oh man, that'll mess
But
up.
we are getting the suits.
Yes, that's the only thing we know about it right now. But
Yep.
well, maybe the suits are really old now. They've got tears.
I'm assuming that they're
'Cause
probably
they did-
in a
they-
wax
they-
museum somewhere.
Or some sort of history museum.
Yeah.
Because, you know, doing acrobats in those suits probably not conducive to longevity.
Going into water with them, doing all that fun stuff with them. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably make new suits.
I'm
As long as they, you know, keep it in line with what they were.
I'm not sure if it's a like, I don't know what the whole, if it's going to be a
It's
reboot
probably-
either, or that kind of stuff, so.
It's probably just gonna be a new story.
Yeah.
They're just gonna continue like nothing happened.
Yep.
They can even ignore the Ooze movie.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
do you want to mention that quickly then?
Fans of 24, your movie is technically on hold because they don't know what to do with it.
And
They're
obviously,
doing
Jack Bauer
other-
got a new job, so
Yeah, no.
he's on TV again, so he doesn't give a crap.
Yeah, it'll be a different. That movie, it's been through development hell.
Yeah.
Much like a lot of movies that we wish came out.
Yeah.
So, The Cape. 16 is in a movie.
Site news!
Sighting.
Sunday,
I think it was a music video.
staying in Anthem Edition.
Yeah. Oh, it was a spoof off El Nafeo's song. It was kind of staying in. I found that appropriate seeing it as how it's that sort of crunch time for school.
Yeah.
You just stay inside, either playing video games or studying.
Yep.
Whatever it is that you do. It's fun. It's fun.
Question of the week, everybody was obviously busy playing Mass Effect, because we
Yes.
only got one response that said the person hasn't bought Mass Effect yet.
Yeah, he's playing on the Wii. He's trying to play it on the Wii.
Obviously. Yeah.
He bought it and tried to put it in the Wii.
Yeah. And then I reviewed Mass Effect.
Hey,
so
it's a game.
It is.
I guess
It's enjoyable. Don't play it before you've played 1 and 2, or
Yeah,
at least
definitely.
2 with the comic book.
experience Mass Effect before.
My friend has played through 1 and 2 pretty much just to get to 3. And
I don't understand why my friend.
He has enjoyed that experience.
I was talking to my friend and he.
Like, my friend is like, it is crack.
Yeah, it is. That's amazing. He was talking. Like, we were talking about how he bought the Mass Effect 1 and 2 on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
But he's like, but I don't, because he's like me. He doesn't really play his Xbox.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't want to play my Xbox 360. I'll buy Mass Effect 3 on the PS3. I'm like, you idiot! Just do it. Just finish it.
Yeah, just finish it on the system that you
I'm like,
bought it on.
so like he's missing out on so many things. I'm like, oh, I told you, just get on the Xbox.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pi Day Wednesday.
Pies.
And subsequently Hump Day Humor that went with Pi Day.
Pies.
And today you reviewed...
This Labyrinth, David Bowie's infamous movie.
From 1968.
1968.
That's what you wrote.
86.
That's what I meant. I read them backwards.
You're dysleximal.
I am dysleximal with numbers. 1986.
1986 is
That's
as old as me.
It's a long time ago.
It's almost as old as me. It's a great movie. It's a kid's.
I don't know how I missed.
I missed it too as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's a weird movie because it's not really a kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is a kids movie, but it's also making the transition into teenage movies.
Yep.
There's a lot of lateral transformation, whereas in other Disney movies or Princess Bride, those kinds of movies, strictly kids movie.
Yeah.
This movie Labyrinth is more of a it's kind of a coming of age and finding yourself. Mm-hmm. And really the only person that's in there is David Bowie, Jennifer something. She plays Sarah, and that's it.
That's all you need.
But
I mean, a lot of
it's singing.
Obviously.
All the soundtracks David Bowie, which is just like
yeah.
a lot of mind tripping happening. So there's a lot of it's a weird didactic experience for a kids movie. It teaches more than it is entertaining, I think. But maybe that's just because I was reading into it a little bit more than I should.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's a good movie. Go watch it. And if you were lucky enough to have Most Wanted Mondays at your Scotiabank Theater, not Scotiabank Theater, Cineplex Theater,
yeah.
You can watch it on Monday. Go to check your theaters.
Yes, check your theater.
I know in Edmonton you can.
Yep.
No, I'm not going to go to it. That's why I watched it. But
yeah, my Monday is not conducive to going to see things. So,
yeah. So go see it if you can in theaters. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
I have to check that out on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Anywho.
Yes.
I think that's it.
That's all for now. Clearly, we got
a lot of stuff.
We packed it in like a pie.
If you'd like us to talk about something specific or just want to ask us lovely questions,
or just want to say hi.
Yeah, we're good with hi.
We're people.
Yeah. You can follow us on Twitter. So we're at Barrel Roll News. Just for us, at Barrel Roll News. He's at Tony_Wong.
Tony_Wong.
And
this is Green Yoshi 001.
Yeah. I know that now.
Yes.
So. Anywho.
That's it. I mean.
Have a
evening day?
Evening, moon day, week, month. I don't know when you're going to be back. But have a good one.
Man, develop that technology. Yeah.
Time travel?
Yes. Okay, see you. Bye.
The world better not end this year, Tom.
The library circulation desk at both computer labs will close in 15 minutes. If you have library materials to check out, please bring them to the circulation desk located by the front entrance.
Takes.
The library will be closing in 30 minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll wrap the go. Go. I don't need to talk about that one.
We can talk about that one.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Time Racer.
Time Racer.
Time Racer.
We should just do a whole show like that. I'll hold on to a week.
Time Racer. Movie. Limited edition.
6 seasons in a movie.
Pre-order now.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll News.
It is March 16th, 2012.
Yeah.